Elif, a young woman living in a small town by the river, had grown tired of the routine of life. One day, as she walked through the dark streets of the town after work, her eyes were drawn to a long line of taxis. Taxis were well known in the town, and they rarely took on passengers who were strangers. Elif, yearning for an exciting adventure, couldn't resist this opportunity. Approaching the taxi, Elif noticed the stern expression on the taxi driver's face through the window. She couldn't take her eyes off the driver's dirty hair and deep wrinkles. However, the taxi driver greeted her with a kind smile. "If you'd like to take a journey outside of town, I can assist you," the taxi driver said. Elif eagerly accepted and settled into the back seat of the taxi. As they drove, the taxi driver remained silent, refusing to engage in conversation. As they left the town behind and headed into distant forested areas, a growing sense of fear welled up inside Elif. After a while, the taxi driver turned a corner, and Elif's eyes were mesmerized by a building on the side of the road. This old, abandoned hospital had become a place known for spooky stories in the town. Elif asked the driver for an explanation, but the driver remained silent. Upon entering the hospital building, Elif's fear reached its peak. The corridors were dark and silent, but they were filled with strange noises and shadows. The taxi driver led Elif into a room and instructed her to wait inside, locking the door behind her. Elif realized that she was trapped in this cursed hospital and desperately tried to open the locked door. Panic set in as she wandered through the hospital. Room by room, she encountered chilling screams and whispers. Hours later, the taxi driver returned and put Elif back into the car. Elif's eyes were filled with unfathomable fear. After leaving the hospital, the taxi driver finally spoke. "You've escaped from there now, but in doing so, you left a piece of your soul behind." Elif returned home, but she was forever changed. From that day on, she used the terrifying hospital experience to scare everyone in town. Yet, the truly frightening moments she had lived through had forever altered her life. Over time, Elif's nightmares increased. The horrific memories of the hospital visit continued to haunt her. She stayed awake at night, avoided dark rooms, and shivered at the sight of taxis from a distance. Her life had turned into the shadow of fear. One day, a friend invited Elif on a different kind of journey, a spiritual one. Elif decided to use this opportunity to confront her fears. She was determined to help herself. She began therapy to address the trauma caused by the hospital visit. With the help of therapy, Elif began to confront her past. Sharing her fears, anxieties, and trauma allowed her to understand and manage them better. The therapy process, though long and challenging, helped Elif discover her inner strength. She gradually conquered her fears and regained control of her life.